Hey guys, John Craig here with Rafael Nadal Tennis. Welcome to today's video. We're going to take a look at the evolution of the Rafael Nadal serve and how it really went from being kind of a liability early in his career to actually being a pretty powerful weapon. He not only increased his RPMs quite a bit, but he also became much more skilled at placing the ball, got a lot more free points off of his serve, and I think it's really been a big piece of his longevity on tour. So we're going to look at a couple things that are going to help your serve right away. So let's go ahead and get started here. First, we're going to take a look. I'm going to go right here to a very early image that's a little earlier than that one. You can see here in this early image that he's done this classic raising both arms together. The down together, up together concept was still being tossed around, and he was taught that early in his career. And you can see that both arms are straight. He raised both of them together, and that really limited his ability to get into a good, strong trophy position, and it also made his swing unnatural. And I think for many of you, you probably know that Rafael Nadal was a right-hander. They turned him into a left-hander, which was a great idea. But if he'd gotten the right kind of coaching early on his motion, he could have had much, much more success serving early on in his career. But let's take a look. We'll go back here to 2005 and take a look. The image we were just looking at, by the way, was pre this. And you can see by now, when he's getting into his trophy position, that he clearly has a L shape here in his arm, which is much, much better. So he was already making some progress here. Also note in 2005, he actually served with a platform stance. And when he went to serve the ball here, you'll see it. He has almost all of the weight. Before he swings, I would say that probably 90% of his weight is on his front foot. Things are a little more different now. We're getting more of an equal balanced load on both legs as well. But just a quick note there on that. Okay, then we'll cruise up here and we'll take a look at this movement here. And this is still 2005 when he's going up to play the ball. And then we'll move over here and let's see what happens in 2008 here. Very interesting. Go here, enters into his serve. Look how both arms are rising together. In fact, it's probably fair to say that the left arm is actually higher than the right arm at this point in time. If you see it from the proper perspective, it's probably the case. So he's really still well entrenched in this down together, up together concept. And I would say that it's a fair statement to say that his left arm is pretty stiff and pretty straight here. And his shoulder has to be pretty engaged to raise that big, strong left arm of his. So he's definitely introducing tension into his motion right away, which is definitely going to inhibit him as we move along here. So he's definitely got this down together, up together motion going. He comes back, and even at this stage, I think it's fair to say that his left arm is very straight coming off the shoulder. So he really hasn't entered into his L-shaped trophy position yet. Okay. You will see he does bring the left leg up and loads into a trophy position, into a platform. He loads into a pinpoint stance from his platform, and he's getting into a good position here for the most part. It looks pretty good. So you might be thinking, well, what could he do better than this? And you'll see what happens as we move along. And we'll keep going here. Okay, that's 2008. We move to 2010. He's actually made a little bit of an adjustment here. He's getting that tossing arm to rise a little bit earlier than his playing arm. So the right's starting to lift a little bit more than the left. He's starting to figure some things out here. Whether he's getting coaching or he's just trying to figure things out on his own, I don't know at this point in time. But he's still got that down together, up together action for the most part. Racket isn't getting too low. You can see that that's about as low as it gets right there. Then he kind of shifts it back. Watch how his left hand kind of shifts behind him there. And the racket really almost doesn't get lower than his shoulder at this point. So that's an interesting position to note where the racket is as he's taking it back into his position before he enters into the swing. Okay. And as we move on here, and we're going to go up here to 2012. By now, he has worked with somebody clearly because someone has clearly coached him to say, you know what, you're going to start to lead with that right arm and get that tossing arm up. So now he's at the stage where he's letting the ball go, and look where the racket is. It's starting to get a lot lower. That last image, his racket was up here at this stage. Now he's starting to get the racket lower. Quite interesting. So for those of you who are out there who are always trying to make a back scratch position, trying to get your racket behind your head, you're going to see how that's actually a problem. and how you really don't want to try to do that. Okay, so 2012 I think was a big turning point for Rafa, and this is about the time he was starting to bring more MPHs to the tour. He started to pound his serve more, and a lot of it is because of this early setup where he could really get into a much stronger position, and the racket was starting its swing from a much better position to really generate power, as we'll see it go along here. So that was a big turning point. Somewhere along the line, he got some coaching there that really changed it. And by 2013, you can still see he's doing the same thing. The racket's in that same nice low position when the ball is leaving the hand. So he's really trying to delay that swing, which was a great idea. So it really does help him make a big, big difference. Now we go to 2014. You will see it's even more pronounced. Look where the racket is after the ball leaves his hand. The ball leaves his hand, his racket goes even down lower. Look how low it is now. So it's down almost the tip of the racket's below his knees. Isn't that amazing? So he's really working hard to lead with his right and lead with a toss, place the toss first, and swing the racket second. So he can get a stronger coordination through his leg drive and his core and his shoulder rotation. And then that racket just lags behind and has the ability to accelerate to catch up even quicker. Really good transition there he's making. And then as we move on and we go to the next one, you'll see that the racket in 2015 actually even gets lower. My goodness, look how low it is here. Wow, it is almost, amazingly, not too far from his foot. So he's even working harder to get into a good strong load, stretching that right arm up, delaying the racket. I love this position. It really is setting him up to have a tremendous movement on the ball. So he's really working on this. It made a big, big difference. And you can see he's well coordinated as he's loading and pushing with both legs now. Look at the left leg pushing where before it was hardly doing anything from the platform for him. Both legs are driving, the racket's dropping, and he's got a beautifully coordinated movement into that serve. So big, big difference. And now if we go here to 2016, it's just a continuation of the same. Racket is very low. Beautiful position. He's getting into a good, strong load. Look how low that racket is. Amazing. If we compare that to early stages, where his racket was really, his arm was really up here somewhere. Actually, I can't even draw it here of this dimension, but it was matching his right hand. His left arm was matching his right almost. So big, big difference. And now watch the height of the ball here. Beautiful height on the ball. And he springs up and he takes it. Okay? Beautiful movement there. And then finally, 2019, interestingly enough, he actually abbreviated it again. And you'll see that the racket didn't really quite go down as far. So he's tinkered with his serve over the years quite a bit. But where he put the lag is he put the lag right here. So rather than having the racket down here, he's just having it here. But essentially, it's kind of doing the same thing because he's really delaying the racket getting into the swing until he's ready to really load his legs and push up into the ball. So he did make a subtle difference there. The thing I love about Rafa is he always was tinkering, always working on improving it. And he really needed to do that as a right-hander. So the big key takeaway here for you is if you're one of those players that's serving down together, up together, see if you can really lead with that tossing arm first and get yourself into a good, strong trophy position. It will make such a difference in your serve performance. So that's the key thing here. Please give me a like. Leave your comments down below. I'll respond to any and all comments. I love the comments. I love the engagement. So leave the comments. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. And get out there and work on this concept. Leave your comments down below. Let me know how it's going. And also, if you click in the link in the description down below, you can actually submit into a drawing to have your serve evaluated here on my YouTube channel. So you can send in a video and I will take a look at it, break it down, and show you what's going on with your serve and give you some pretty good ideas on how you can improve your serve. Thanks so much for watching today's video, everyone. Stay tuned. We've got a lot more coming in Performance Plus Tennis.